Hello and welcome back. In part 3, we have configured routing between different subnets using router on a stick, and we managed to do inter-VLAN routing. Now we have a different site, a data center where we have our services running, and we need to create a communication from our site to that location. This router has a serial interface, which I prepared already, and that router has another serial interface, and I want to show you the configuration in there. And so if we go to the show IP interface brief, you see the fast Ethernet, the serial 00 has this IP, but there's no cable connected. And I have also a route to reach there, show IP route. And when I say route to reach there, it's a static route. So there's no cable connected. But if I say show run, the configuration is there. You can see I have 10.3.3. How to reach 10.3 is here on the right hand side, the data center, and we're coming from the left. So that route is there for us. And this router, if we click on it and if we check it is interfaces, it says show interface brief, show IP interface brief, show IP interface brief. If we do that, then you see the serial interface is also connected, but there's no cable. And if I say show run, I have a way to reach different networks in behind R1. So I have a way to reach 20.1 and 10.1, and this is VLAN 10 and VLAN 20 on the left. And the server here will be able to respond to that. The router knows how to reach that network back. Let's do the cabling. I have a serial DCE on the left connecting to serial 00, and then a serial interface here. Both are configured previously. And then I have a fast Ethernet 0/0, which has the IP as well, and connecting to the switch. So if I connect to the switch, okay, so let me pause and see what I can do from the switch. Okay, so the recording software gets the way. So I connected the cable between the router and the switch. Then we have now that network already. We have a static route. How do we do that routing test now? Let's go to the same PC. Actually, let's configure maybe a web service on here at 10.3.3.100. And the web service here, if you go to services, if you go to HTTP, let's edit this part. Oh, it says Cisco Packet Tracer. Let's say test website, test page. Let's change. This is Cisco's content. Okay, let's save that. It overwrites. We accept that overwrite, and we have the IP already there. It is 10.3.3.100. It is a default gateway. I'm using DNS on itself. We will do it for future lessons, but let's test that PC from the staff. So let's do from the staff actually. Staff on PC3, can they actually reach that website? And the website IP, we're accessing HTTP. We can do the ping if we want to, but you can access, you can test by using the web browser. So the IP is 10.3.3.100. Can we reach the test page? Yes, we can. We give it an IP. We don't have a DNS. If we have a DNS, we would give the DNS name here. We would give a name there and then put it in the DNS list. From there, the users, they don't need to remember IP addresses, and that's how you would configure your network. So now we have a fully working inter-VLAN routing between the same building but different floors. Even though the same VLAN is across the building, they have that communication because the switches are configured with the required VLANs, and then between them we have the trunk interfaces allowing what we need to be allowed, the VLANs that are required, and then we have the access interfaces assigned to the right VLANs. When we have that layer 2 built and established, then we need a layer 3 device. The switch can be layer 3 if you have a layer 3 switch, but here we have one router with limited interfaces, and we're using one interface, fast Ethernet 0/0, and from there we are configuring sub interfaces. Those sub interfaces become default gateway to different VLANs across your network. Now what happens, those VLANs will ping different networks first get to their default gateway. The default gateway uses the subinterface, the encapsulation .1q that we use for different VLANs, and then it forwards traffic to the right destination. And on the left, we use in static routing. And on the left and on the right, the communication between them is a static routing. We can use OSPF, BGP, whatever we want, but for this concept, just to be clear, we have configured Inter-VLAN routing. And in another video, we will cover same design, but using DHCP instead of configuring IP addresses statically, and DNS, we will provide that configuration directly from a router. So one time, the router will provide you locally you're connected, but if the DHCP is somewhere else, the DHCP traffic is a broadcast, routers drop broadcast, then your DHCP request will not reach the server. What we need to do is some settings we need to add to the interfaces, and then they will be able to forward the broadcast to the DHCP server. That way the clients will have their connectivity or their IP addressing, and then we will add wireless controller somewhere in the network and access points across the building. From there, the users with laptops, they will also be able to connect and get their configurations through the wireless access, through the wireless controller, through the network, and then we will build a whole infrastructure that way. Thank you again. I hope these 4 parts of the Inter-VLAN routing clarifies your understanding, and I hope to see you in other videos.